So? Did you find out where the dust crystals were coming from, or what?
It's, a long story. And perhaps one better told in the shelves.
Bloody hell. Remind me never to go poking round in any fallen ruins.
Not only a mother crystal of human creation, but an icon as well. Truly, the study of our fallen forebears is endlessly rewarding. The wonders of which they were capable never ceased to amaze.
They came as something of a surprise to us, too.
You can say that again. We had no idea what we were getting ourselves into when we set foot in that tower.
We only knew the old stories. Of a people so consumed by greed that they sought to overthrow the gods. And I'd hazard the thing we found in that tower was conceived for that very purpose.
Omega, the offspring of the Fallen's boundless knowledge and unchecked ambition. A dangerous combination for all concerned.
And Ultima crushed them. It was he whose secrets the Fallen coveted, let's not forget. He whom they strove to dethrone. Just as we strive to dethrone him now. Without their knowledge. And without their weapons of war.
Clive.
This power I've been given may exceed even theirs. But if I use it, as they did, who's to say things won't end the same way?
Come now, brother. I think the events of recent days have made it abundantly clear that we are not our ancestors. As well you know.
You're right. They made crystals. We destroy them.
In crafting their artificial art, the Fallen sought to emulate the divine.
No.
Well said. If one does not learn from the mistakes of the past, and so that those who come.
Clive. Going purse weighing you down? You'll not find a better price than that. You're rubbing me blind, you know. It'd better all be here. You're rubbing me blind, you know. Come again. Or don't. I'm not much bothered either way.
Garrison said they'd take another 100.
To the Vale it is, then.
Looks like you've got a thirst.
But enough talk.
Fancy a peek behind the veil, my lord?
I'm looking for a Layla.
You found one. So, will your friends be joining in? What you do with your time? Oh,
Among other things.
look, there's only
Specifically.
a location there you'll find...
And that's all.
Actually?
Does anyone else think it's strange that this woman should prefer to keep to the outskirts of town?
What if she realizes the value of the information she's party to?
And the danger it puts her in.
I haven't seen any of those beastly blue-eyed things.
Do be careful.
Well, the tent is where Layla said it would be.
Yes, but who awaits us inside?
It's empty. Why am I not surprised? A boat. No prizes for guessing who that belongs to. The embers are still warm.
So you're Sid.
I suppose I must be. Which means you have me at a disadvantage.
Apologies. I am Shula, tributary of Mysidia, final haven of the Motes of Water.
The Motes of Water.
The very tribe into which it was believed Leviathan's dominant was born. A people notable for their sapphire eyes and ivory hair. Yet that would be impossible, since the tribe famously...
Vanished. Was exterminated. Though we've managed to keep that fact hidden from good Kriegers faithful for over a century.
Along with Leviathan's dominant.
That wave out there. What do you know of it?
The Surge. Only that it's been there a long time.
Since the fall of Drake's Eye almost a century ago. Some claim the two are connected, but none can speak with any certainty.
So in other words, you know nothing. Not that I'll hold it against you. The wave was raised by Leviathan in an act of rage. Moments before the waters were stayed, and the Icon and its dominant bound within.
And you want us to?
Rescue him. Yes. You see, a little bird told me about a certain outlaw with a singular knack for putting unruly dominants in their place. And ours is about as unruly as they get. For years, we've searched for someone who could hold their own against an Icon. Someone just like you. So what do you say? Will you help us?
What exactly did your dominant do to warrant this punishment?
What did he do? But he deserves a...
As do we all. Very well. Something tells me you speak in earnest. So we will do what we could first.
I can do better than that. I can show you. My people await you there.
Lead the way.
All right, you might want to hold on to something. We're coming up on the wall, and passing through can take a bit of getting used to.
I don't see any wall.
Of course you don't. That's the point. It's a glamour woven by our ancestors to keep our village hidden from prying eyes. But don't take my word for it. Watch.
That was worse than a slug of Bacchus wine.
Clive, the sky.
It's blue, but how is that possible?
You do know what a glamour is, don't you? Ours just happens to work both ways, and a good thing too. I wouldn't fancy staring at those sickly clouds every day. And that concludes our little voyage. We're here. It's a long slog to the village, and a hard one. I hope you're up for a climb.
Finally.
What? You didn't think we'd arrived, did you? The village isn't up here. It's on the other side of the mountain.
Of course it is. I doubt she could even reach me here.
Watch yourself, Sid. This path can be treacherous. If not for the sheer drop, then for the beasts who prowl it.
Thank you for the warning. And please, call me Clive. Sid is an alias.
You will be pleased to learn, Lady Shula, that I have no such aliases.
Is that so, Lord Margrace?
It's all the same to me. was wondering when they'd pick up our scent.
Stand back. We'll handle this.
Oh, will you now? Shall I keep my axe and spells to myself then?
Earlier you mentioned spells, yet I see you carry no crystals.
Since when did a bearer ever need crystals?
But then, where is your brand?
Waiting for me in Sombrek, if I ever get careless.
Then it's in for a long wait.
We're almost at the summit. From there, you'll have a better view of our home. Few have ever set eyes on what I'm about to show you. Just so you know.
This is not what I expected.
Welcome, my friends, to Mysidia.
It's been a long time since I saw the North looking so...
Alive.
I'm sure you have plenty of questions, but it's been a long journey, and I expect we could all do with a rest. Our humble village is only a short way from here, if you'd care to accompany me. Let's get ourselves in front of a fire, and I'll tell you everything you need to know.
It's beautiful, Shula.
And we aim to keep it that way.
Are those stones glowing?
That's one of the cairns which maintain the glamour. Steer well clear.
If the surge was an act of rage...
One wonders what prompted it.
Could we not have spared ourselves the mountain crossing by landing further north?
In clear view of the bay?
I doubt even Ambrosia could find me here.
On evening tides.
Does morning's light return?
Open the gates! The tributary is home!
Outsiders? Well, I never.
Look at the size of that dog.
All right now. Back to your duties. You'll have to forgive my people their curiosity. We don't get many visitors. Or any, truth be told.
Then we are honored to be the first.
This is quite extraordinary. Like stepping into another world.
So do you believe me now?
You've made it difficult not to, my lady. But how did your people chance to settle here in the north? Unless I am much mistaken, the moats of water long called the coasts of Southern Ash their home. Until Drake's Horn fell and the Blight forced them ever inland, where...
We met our doom, along with our dominant. I see you've read the Gregorian Church's account. But perhaps that building over there is the Witten Hall. It's where my people gather to discuss matters of import. We can speak more inside, once the place is ready to receive you. It shouldn't take long, but you're welcome to explore the village while I see to things.
Thank you. We'll do just that.
That'll be them then.
Look! That one's got a black cape. You think he's the leader?
Oh, I don't think I can carry another barrel up those steps. If I had a crystal, maybe?
Those crystals are for the glamour, you lazy beggar.
Intruders!
No, do you think he does?
So what do you think of our little haven in the woods? It might not have all the comforts of a southern settlement, but at least it's ours.
And there's a lot to be said for that. It can't have been easy keeping this place a secret.
Not easy, no. We've dedicated our lives to maintaining the glamour that conceals us. Us?
This man, Wally.
That's right.
A baby.
Forgive, that would surely make him older.
It would.
I'm sorry.
Wallius was Leviathan, a war my ancestors sought and summoned.
Then it is not the...
Yes.
Forgive me.
I'm not. Which is why it might show you exactly what...
That is why we...
Then let us speak. There's a road that leads north.
Are you bound for the Wave, tributary?
We are, Delina. Have you spread the word about our guests?
I have. Everyone knows to treat them as family.
You shouldn't have any.
That's very kind. I look forward to meeting the family.
The feeling's mutual.
Should the tribute...
Thank you.
Then I bid you.
Our storehouse lies across the bridge. If you're short of supplies, you may find what you need there.
You are Sid, aren't you? The man the tributary told us about? I wonder if he...
With what exactly?
Oh, no. He's a... Perhaps. Please, Anne.
Fine. Which flower?
The sweet little... We use them to dye our fabrics so we always feel close to water like they are. You don't need to go...
2 baskets.
I'm not arguing. The child...
Excuse me, Pavard's wife.
Ah. Where do I want to go on then?
I'm sorry.
Ah, don't worry about it. An old fool Pavard may be, but if you come bearing gifts, he's not fool enough to turn you away.
Ah.
Thank you.
What?
It is. I'm much obliged. They really are beautiful.
Aren't they just legend? And as they... So when we fight...
Well, that's 2 basketfuls. Time to visit Pavard. Your wife asked...
Come out!
Who? It's just... What with you be...
The only I'm pretty much still.
All right.
All right, then.
You use them for dyeing, I hear.
We use it to...
As modes of water.
That's right. The cease and no man.
Oh, well.
Yes? Will that do you? Better than you.
And
saying she's got the heaven.
if you'd like me to...
Oh, no, could I?
Of course not.
I hope not. Aye, if she wants.
All right. Excuse...
Little, she went
out of the...
Aye, there's a path off to the last way.
Oh, well. This must be the path.
It's you!
You must...
Can you lot...
You left with...
But I went...
Well, naive.
All right, and
Thank you for bringing her home. And sorry.
Oh, no. It was a pleasure.
Daddy, did you know that there are villages 10 times as big as Haven in the outside world? 10 times! Cities, they call them. And in these cities, they have great big walls and towers and castles.
Oh, you can tell me all...
Huh?
Thanks for putting up with her questions. She, has a lot of them. One of the big ones being, what are the people beyond the wall like?
Are we the...
A few of us might make the occasion.
Yes.
Well, let me... That's one thing, Medis. Aye. So please...
Thanks for bringing... Anyway, when you've decided what you want, just let me know. Well, if you're sure you need it. I'll be here.
What do you think the tributary sees?
How long do you think this bridge has been stood?
Suddenly, there were curves everywhere.
There's a pair of ships just up ahead.
Ships? But are we not still leagues from the shore?
The quickest route to the surge is due east, past the second galley.
Shula, how did these ships come to be here?
What do you imagine happens when an icon of water gets angry?
Really, brother, did you have to ask?
Tonberries. Foul creatures consumed by their hatred for everyone and everything.
Everything save sharp knives, it seems.
I can smell the sea.
It's not far now.
How will we reach the surge?
We'll follow the coastline north. There's a bridge that'll take us across to the cape.
Might I inquire about the Ray of Light?
It's what prevents the surge from being reclaimed by the sea. And Dwalius by his people.
You said before that the child is bound within the Surge. But you've yet to tell us how we're meant to reach him. I trust we won't have to hold our breath.
No. The Surge wraps around the cape without engulfing it. If we continue to its tip, there is a path down to the seabed. And the wave's origin.
All right. It won't be the first dominant we've met at the bottom of the ocean.
It's not much further now.
The path seems well kept. Do you and the villagers often come this way?
Only me. Once every new moon without fail. It is my duty both as village elder and Walius's descendant.
But surely no one blames you for what happened. Why should you bear the responsibility alone?
You misunderstand. I do it because I want to show him that he isn't alone, and that there are still some of us who would see an end to his suffering. Suffering you will soon witness with your own eyes. The forest grows quickly here. Left unattended, the path would be reclaimed in a matter of moons.
Does the light point the way to the child?
It does indeed.
Look at all the droplets of water suspended in midair.
Where they have remained untouched by time for 80 summers.
It's not right.
No. It's not.
There. Up ahead. Down in the center. Follow me.
He's still primed.
I'll never forget my first priming. The fear. And I was old enough to understand what was happening. One can only imagine how this poor child felt.
He is the victim of an unforgivable sin. Committed by people who saw him as nothing but a means to an end. He must be so frightened.
Then I'll ease his burden.
You don't mean?
I'm not going to hurt him. Contrary to the tales, I don't go around killing dominants for no reason. What if I told you there was a way to remove Walius's icon?
I tell you, you were a madman.
It's hard to believe, I know. But it can be done. Though, it isn't without its risks. Part of the Icon remains no matter what.
So, it might still come to violence.
I don't know. It depends on the dominant. I've seen things end well, and I've seen things spiral out of control. But I do know one thing. If we turn our backs on this child, there will be no end to his suffering. And I think that a worse fate than the alternative. Don't you?
Very well. Do what you must. And whatever happens, I will own the consequences.
Don't be afraid, little one. Let me bear the weight. I think so. I can feel the Icon inside me. But something's wrong. He wasn't just afraid. He was angry. All right. Let's see what you've given me.
Leviathan!
No, just an enemy, but a formidable adversary nonetheless.
Friends.
Is everyone all right?
He seems calmer now.
You said Walius was frozen in time. But he knew we were here. How?
I don't know. He's never reacted to anything or anyone. Until now.
The child has been bound for nigh on a century. If he has been conscious from the first, we must remove the seal at once.
It's not that simple. I wish it were, but... there's more to this tale. It would be better if I explained back at the village.
I see. Then let's return before it gets dark.
I'm sorry, Walius. I will make this right. So, part of Leviathan is inside you now, is it? Does it hurt?
No. Not anymore, anyway.
Good. Because I still have need of your strength. If you want to know the rest, we should head to the Witten Hall.
Of course.
To understand the spell which binds Walius, you must first know who we are, and what drove my forebears to commit such an atrocity.
This tapestry
is our story, the one that brought us here. After generations of wandering, my people sought refuge in northeastern Storm, some 170 years ago. But in exchange for our safety, the Gregorian Church demanded we renounce our faith, and branded us heretics when we could not.
To be exterminated, as a lesson to others.
And so was it chronicled in the Imperial histories, for anything less would have made the Church seem weak. Yet a handful survived. The few who did fled north and west, and in doing so discovered two things that would forever shape our fates. The first was an old legend, revealing how to make your very own Mother Crystal.
I've heard that one before.
Yes, yet it gave them new hope, however false. Our ancestors convinced themselves that they could recreate the divine if they could only find a strong enough heart. A living being capable of channeling torrents of ether. And the heavens provided.
A dominant Walius.
They'd stumbled across a nostrum in an ancient ruin, which they believed could provoke a sudden outpouring of a creature's ether. They meant to enrage his icon. Leviathan would have destroyed everything, had our people not made their second important discovery. A means to stop time itself.
Where did they find that? The Northerners had no such magics, or they would have used them.
When our ancestors first arrived, the land was uninhabited, save for an old witch who lived on the highest peak. Her body had been consumed by the curse, a cruel payment for her long years of service to the Northern Thanes. So desperate were they to prevent the fall of Drake's Eye, they'd forced her to devise a spell to stop time.
But Drake's Eye did fall.
It did. When she finally perfected the necessary magics, it was already too late. As punishment for her failure, the Thanes exiled her to this forsaken place to live out the few days she had left. Knowing her suffering, our ancestors cared for her as best they could, and in return, she gifted them her spell. That even though she should die, her legacy might live on. So armed with both the knowledge of the ancients and the secrets of time, our ancestors settled upon an ambitious plan. They would create a new Mother Crystal, and enchant it that it might endure for all eternity. Thus would our people's wandering, our suffering, finally end, and prosperity visit us once more. And all it would require was the sacrifice of a single child. A small price to pay, or so they believed.
Another victim of man's blind reliance on the Mother Crystals. So we know the seal source. How do we break it and restore the flow of time?
Do you recall the Dome of Light on top of the cliffs to the west? Inside lie the ruins of an old temple. It was there that the witch built the Vare, a conduit of sorts that channels her remaining ether into the Surge. But it's been a long time since anyone set foot in the place. And now, there are others who claim it as their own.
Then we shall go prepared for a fight. That said, it may be best if one of us stays behind.
You think the village could be in danger?
We saw the ether flow from Walius in all directions, but only encountered a single familiar. There will be more. And should even one make its way here, I doubt the walls could hold it back for long.
Then I shall stay. The Phoenix will see your people safe, tributary.
You have my thanks.
Very well. We should depart at once. I fear time may no longer be a luxury we can afford.
The Vare is not easy to find. We must first head north, and then west, deeper into the forest.
No sign of the child.
Reckon my steel's just as good as any.
And this is Talor.
Nothing too serious.
I hope so.
But
This and mine. And start shoot.
I'd be happy.
You can't. All I need is something, and what the trouble is. So while you...
All right.
Oh, I see.
It's not.
Not that I know. Suppose he might...
When you say...
Just round the... Maybe he knows.
Maybe. Your name is
Hello. Did you see? It was...
Well, that in him. Let's see what the healer makes of this.
I spoke with...
No, but...
You may have...
And you...
God, there's an... Oh, please.
Very well.
Bastard things.
All the thick way. Oh, I never should have let him go alone.
Hail, stranger.
And once everyone left me in peace.
Before, we turned east at the shipwrecks to reach the coast. Now we must head in the opposite direction.
Left it is, then. If there's one thing I know about beastmen, is that they love to hide in the dark. What are they up to? Some sort of ritual. Sorry to disturb you. Let's see what's on this altar, then. A silver chain. I doubt the Tombries made it. This must be what Fennec was talking about. I did. This silver chain. Well,
Forgive me.
One by...
To understand the feet and some say...
So you...
but Kip...
Does the Lord...
No. Oh, there's...
Yours?
When me be told...
Did they have another...
Come.
All right.
Thank you.
Aye, and... We call it an addis. If you find an...
I am, thank...
Reckon my steel's just as good as any. Till next time, then.
No sign of the child.
I will have to charge you. Here you are. Very well.
Bastard things.
Oh, I never should have let him go alone.
Hail, stranger.
Poor girl probably doesn't know where I am. This is the mineral Pavar was talking about. The one that rings out like a bell.
There's a large gate up ahead, and beyond it, a cluster of ancient ruins. The temple, or the Heir of Hours as my people call it, can only be reached by passing through them. Those won't be The forest is crawling with life, most of it hungry, which is why we make sure this gate stays shut.
And why you carry that impressive-looking axe, I presume.
Noticed her, have you?
The temple is up there.
Don't worry. Those cliffs aren't the only way to the top.
Are these the ruins?
Yes. As far as we can tell, they're part of the same complex as the temple itself.
To think of all the people who must once have lived here. These remind me of home.
You're from the north, then?
Yes. And no.
I see. Do you see that cave up ahead? Whoever lived here carved a flight of stairs into the stone within.
A way to the top.
And whatever it is that awaits us there.
There. The temple the time forgot.
And the Varys inside?
Yes. You can see the spell's path from the nave.
What is it?